Okay, good evening everybody, and welcome to PNR, Monday 13th of April. Just to remind members that this meeting is being live streamed through the Council's Facebook page. Anybody attending will be captured on film except when seated in the public seating area with the exclusion of first row, so any speech may be picked up and broadcast. Fire alarm drill is not planned. In the event that the alarm sounds, please make your way out of the building using either staircase to the meeting point in Red Lion Yard and await further instructions. Councillors are reminded that to avoid the risk of being seen as predetermined or biased, they should consider all debate prior to deciding on how to vote on items of business. Urgent items for information only can be brought to the attention of the committee at my discretion at the end of the meeting. And finally, please could you ensure that mobile phones are turned off or to silent. Thank you. So, business to be transacted. Item 1, apologies for absence, please, Madam Clerk.
Councillor Bird, who has a prior commitment.
Thank you. Proposed from second, please.
The problems,
Thank you, Councillor.
so the problem's moved.
Looks like it has.
Okay, so that's Councillor Fisher, Councillor Leach. All in favour, please show. Lovely, thank you. So declarations of interest. So this is to receive disclosures of interest from councillors on matters to be considered at the meeting. The disclosure shall include the nature of the interest. If a member becomes aware during the course of the meeting of an interest that has not been disclosed, they must do so immediately. Anybody anything to declare at this stage in the proceedings? Okay, lovely, thank you. Item 3, public participation. To receive questions or comments from members of the public, and please note that decisions cannot be made on items not detailed on the agenda, and welcome to Councillor Ricketts, who's coming in as an observer. So at this stage you are a member of the public because you're not on PR. So did you have any questions at all?
No questions at the moment.
Lovely, thank you. And item 4 is members' questions. To receive questions from members regarding the workings of the committee. Anybody, any questions? Fabulous. Item 5 is the minutes. So this is to resolve to approve the minutes of the Policy and Resources Committee meeting held on the 2nd of March 2026 with an amendment to minute reference 632.1, adding the wording relating to policy and well-being, so that the last sentence reads, an update on the positive impact actions agreed following concerns raised in 2025 relating to policy and well-being were provided. So I wonder if I've got a proposal that Councillor Coleman and Councillor Tolley, all in favour, please show. Lovely. Just sign these in minutes or just finish all that bit and I'll sign the rest later. So item 6, which is Oakhampton Town Youth Council. To receive, consider feedback from the Youth Council and consider any comments arising. Adam Clark.
Councillor Marshall came along to the last meeting. If she has any comments. If not, I can provide an update.
Not really. We had a talk from, forgotten his name, about the railway, and they discussed a few things of what they would like in the future, so there wasn't really an awful lot to report back, was there?
We were looking at possibly holding a sort of a life skills day for them, and Councillor Marsh suggested making it into a bigger event that we could invite all young people to. So we've been working on that, and they're meeting next Monday, and we're going to be working on that a bit. So we've got thinking of doing like a workshop day and inviting some members from the business community, and perhaps somebody could do, an accountant could do a budgeting workshop, somebody could come and do a workshop about leasing property or buying property, which is what some of the older ones have talked about. Perhaps somebody from the sort of sewing community who could show them some basic practical repair skills, maybe somebody from an estate agent who could also talk about leasing or buying. Perhaps we could invite the MP along and we could have a workshop for an hour with questions with the MP or something, and all those sort of types of different things. Perhaps CV writing, business startup, interview skills, those sorts of things. So we're looking to perhaps do that in the summer.
Brilliant, thank you. Item 7 is policies and documents. So these are to consider and to resolve to recommend the following policies to full council. So the first one, A, is the civic and council protocol. You've all had copies of these policies have been circulated and any proposed changes are in red. There is one part though on page 14 of this particular one, which is about relating to the civic and the charity dinner, and is to see if this is still required, as the last dinner was approximately 5 years ago. The last dinner actually was, I think, in 20. Did you have a civic dinner? Okay. Instead, should a section be included about mayoral fundraising events? See page 5. Any members have any thoughts on this? Quite a few will have, I think everybody is either a mayor or a former mayor who is on this committee at the present time, so Councillor Lynch.
I'll try this. I know, certainly since COVID, there's been lots of cutbacks when it comes to civic events. But the civic events still go on in other parts of Devon. In fact, the West Devon Civic Dinner is this week. I think it's quite important that we do keep up some form of civic events. People sometimes say, well, because councils, they get it free. We don't actually get it free. I've always, wherever I've been, always paid the full whack. That goes usually to charity. By not having them, we will tend to become isolated from what's happening around us. My biggest concern is what's coming. When we go to unitaries, what happens to West Devon Royal Borough Council, especially from a historic point of view? I guess they all get washed away. I don't know. But I personally think it's important that we do try and keep up our civic events.
Of course, the civic dinner is a place where other mayors and chairs are invited from the wider area, whereas if a mayor is holding a coffee break, that could be held locally with local people invited, or a quiz evening.
Yeah.
So, Councillor Marsh.
I agree it's important to keep these things going, but the reality of it is that very often the numbers are so low that it's not practical to hold it, and not so many people are going to these things. Things have changed, and that's why over a period of time it's not been a civic dinner, it's been a charity one, because you've held it for your charity as well, and invited civic dignitaries, but the thing has changed, and it's up to the mayor to try to hold one or not. It's whether or not you can get enough people to attend.
So I think the question is, do we want to leave it in to this protocol so that it's an option? Because if it's removed, then that option will be removed. So that's the key thing. Councillor Fisher and Councillor Coleman.
So I agree we should keep it as an option, but I found it, my thoughts were people didn't want to come to them, yet I had a quiz evening where I invited the mayors from all over the place, and loads came to that, because quiz is what people want to do now, and they don't want to pay for, I think it's, West Devon is £40-odd. Yes, £45, it's a lot of money, it's 90 quid for two people, so I think it's just put it as an option, yeah.
Councillor Coleman.
I agree that it should be left open at mayor's discretion to do it. It should be an option that's available anyway. So I'd like to propose that we leave it as an option.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we're all in favour of that, of just leaving it in as that option so as it remains, yeah? Okay, lovely, thank you. So just anything further on this particular Civic Council protocol that anybody wishes to debate on that one? Because we'll vote on them en bloc for recommending to the council. Yeah.
I want to come in the right one. It talks about the carnival and what the mayor's doing at the carnival.
Whereabouts are you? Which pages are numbered, unfortunately? But can you give? No, they're not. There isn't a number on that.
No, it's because I had to put them all into one document.
It's over the page from the civic thing.
Civic year event. It talks about the mayor and it's saying not necessarily will he have to do the afternoon, but further down it's still in there. And that's the same.
Okay.
And that's the same for him walking. That we'll supply the car, but further down it's still in.
I see. Correct that.
Yeah, just bring it in sort of, because it's under the mayor's civic protocol and that's about the only event. More detail on that. So well spotted. Thank you. Okay, anybody, anything else on this particular one? No. Okay. So then we've got next one, which is dealing with the press and the media. There aren't any changes in that one. Any comments on that one? No. Document retention policy. It says document to follow, but you have actually got it in your
Yeah.
bundle there. And again, there are one or two fairly small changes in there to do the allotments and approved contractor scheme.
There's one I'd like to add that we thought about after this, and that is the live streams of these meetings. Although then we don't keep them per se because they are live streamed onto Facebook and then they are downloaded and put onto YouTube now. We don't actually keep them on our system. We probably should have that recorded somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something to go within this
Yeah, so I will add that in.
document retention policy. It will just, yeah. Okay, so they won't be essentially retained.
No,
It'll be dependent on the platform.
it will be dependent on their policy.
So any other questions or queries on this particular one? So then item D, which is the employee handbook, which is a big tome. Sorry, some of you had slept well the night you read this, I would imagine.
But
Lots of
legislation changed as of the
Seriously?
beginning of this month.
So these are statutory changes that are all within this. So it's a formality, but we still need to recommend them to it. So anybody got any questions or queries on these? So, no, okey-dokey. Then you're looking at the fire safety policy, once I've got my way through to it. According to my notes, which I made, there are no changes on it, so. No, okay. And then, so any questions, queries on that one? No. So then the standing orders, which again, maybe minor, which one doesn't have a source somewhere. Oh yes, it was just, under proper officer part, under new rule 16, following consultation with the mayor or relevant committee chairman, the clerk may call an extraordinary meeting of council or one of its committees as required. I didn't realise that was in there.
I'm not the local one.
No, okay. So that's the only change on the standing orders. Are we all happy with that?
Yeah.
Oh, so there's another one where a word is changed from may to has appointed as well.
Okay.
Okay, so on that basis then, are we happy to resolve to recommend the following policies to full council? Councillor Foley, Councillor Fisher, all in favour, please show. Thank you very much. That's just... So then we're on item 7.2, which is the personnel. I've got it somewhere. Let me do something here. There you go. So this is the personnel subcommittee terms of reference. So it is to consider the terms of reference for the 26-27 mayoral year make a recommendation to full council for consideration at the next appropriate meeting. Again, there are no changes on these. So we're happy to, Councillor Fisher. Councillor Leach, all in favour? Thank you. So item 8, finance and audit. So 8.1, councillor audits. Councillor Marsh to report upon recently undertaken councillor audit of the bank reconciliations, online payments and Lloyd's debit card transactions made since the last report. Over to you, councillor.
No report on this one because we're coming to the council's financial year, so there'll be a delay in it. It won't be until next PNR meeting.
Okay, lovely, thank you. Management accounts. So this is to consider, agree and adopt the management account as circulated for the month ending 28th of April 2026. Again, you have it in your pack. Any questions or queries on any of these? Month 11 of the financial year related to. So if nobody has anything particularly, then could we have a proposal to adopt Councillor Tolley and I'm not quite sure who was next. Councillor Fisher caught my eye. Alright, so all in favour, please show. Lovely, thank you. Investments, to review the financial investments, including interest rates and Tamar Energy community shares. And you have got this, has just been circulated. So you can see where we are, what the interest rates are. Anything to add to this, Madam Clerk?
Only that, at long last, the nationwide account should be closed as of today.
Oh, great.
So once we've got confirmation of that and that the money has gone through to the NatWest account, we can open the Unity account as previously agreed and move the money in.
Yeah, that's a bit like pulling teeth, wasn't it?
Just a little.
So anybody, any questions or queries on that?
All right.
Okay, this is just for noting, right? Payment schedule 8.4, to resolve to approve the payment schedule. Again, has been circulated and Councillor Fisher, I know, has just been reviewing them. I suspect Councillor Island has possibly had his the second eye over it another time.
No, he hasn't been in today,
Oh.
so it's just been Councillor.
Councillor Fisher. Okay,
He has been in, but not directly.
no. Okay, so you've got them all there in front of you. These are all as agreed in the budget, of course, but it still needs to be just approved. Councillor Coleman,
Propose we ratify that one.
you're proposing that. Councillor Seconder, Councillor Tolley, all in favour? Thank you. Let me just sign this one.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so add the little collection. So 8.5, Lloyd's banking arrangements. Buckle up, this is going to be interesting. So the checks received, Lloyd's will now only accept checks posted to them or uploaded through their app. So to resolve for us to approve the paying in of checks through an app installed on the Clerk's Work mobile phone. Madam Clerk.
Did check this with the auditor when he was here last week and the next item, and there is no problem with doing that. We get very few checks these days. Yeah, maybe one a month, I would suggest, but it's not very often at all. And we did try it with one, a small amount, and it did work okay. It would be probably safer with the post situation these days than trying to post
Oh,
it.
yeah, most definitely. Councillor Coleman.
Yeah, I think it's the only way forward, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you need a proposal for that?
Yeah.
I'd like to propose that we go ahead with that. Then.
Yeah, I second that.
Anybody, anything else they wish to say on this one? All in favour, please show. Lovely, thank you. So petty cash, so this is cash including loose change can now only be withdrawn by the use of debit cards. To resolve to approve the use of debit cards in the possession of the Clerk and Finance Office for withdrawal of cash.
It should be.
Officer for withdrawal of cash for this purpose. And it's predominantly because petty cash is operated through an imprest system, so you need to take out, £32.72, for instance, it needs to be a precise amount, and you can't do that as an ATM. So it needs to be done at a post office, and you need a debit card. Okay, any queries on that? No, in that case, could I have a proposal, please, to approve that? Councillor Fisher, Councillor Coleman, all in favour? Thank you. So item 9, staff training, to consider a report from the clerk. Over to you, Ellen.
You have got details of this, but the property committee, when we were doing the last asbestos inspection, asked if a member of staff could be trained to do that. So you've got my research there from that. It's quite an intensive course. It's a 3-day course with practical and other exams.
No,
Okay. And then you have to keep that up. I don't know whether you have to do refreshers with the course or not, but you would need to keep up to date with the legislation for that. This was on King's previous inspection, so you should have it. There's another set in the front of that box.
It's the one that has the terms of reference on it as well.
If you're not on the property, we don't get it then. And I haven't
No,
had
it's
that.
come here. It was a suggestion made by the property committee because it's staff training. So you would have had to pay for it. It's in with the report with the terms of reference on the front. It's on the back of that.
I was going to say, I've just read it.
Yeah,
It's a preference.
it's on there.
It's on the second page.
I only read that as terms of reference.
It was long term, so it's not quite that long, unfortunately. But anything else on that?
The course is about £1,000 plus travel wherever it is.
Presumably accommodation as well.
And accommodation, I haven't put that on there, travel accommodation expense. Yeah. Plus I've spoken to a couple of members of staff and there isn't a huge appetite for this. I think if the council wanted, they would, and there is somebody that would, but it's the legal side of it as well, keeping up to date. And the possible implications if it were to be not right. Because you've got to produce the asbestos management plan and all the registers and things to go with it.
Councillor Leach.
there's still a licensed asbestos surveyor. It is quite an in-depth course if you go into it properly. And it's quite an interesting test. I don't think they've changed it, but it's quite an interesting test at the end. It doesn't finish with that, so each year you have to have updates.
Exactly.
Because mine was the fully advanced one, I don't need those updates to be honest. Once you know about asbestos and you treat it properly, then you don't really need the unless you stop doing it, and you probably do need some updates. But what you do need here is somebody just to be able to not produce the actual report, but once a year go around the areas that we know you've got asbestos, and you look at it, you just look to see if it's damaged or not. If it's not, you sign it as clear tick, that's done. You just need someone to be able to recognise damaged asbestos. The other drawback is you have to have regular medicals, because I've got problems with my left lung because of asbestos, and that was way before this pleural plaque, way before I started to be a surveyor. So when I was in the building industry years ago. So you do have to have regular checkups with a doctor, so it doesn't finish at that. And I personally wouldn't recommend it because the insurance cover is appalling. It is extremely expensive.
It's my recommendation that we don't do this, but the property committee asks that we look into it, so.
Councillor Moore.
I think looking at the report, the cost-benefit analysis, if you like, weighs heavily towards not getting overly involved in this and allowing outside professional people to come in and deal with it. And I'm inclined to agree with that completely.
I'll just read the draft recommendation here so that we will put it here. So the recommendation is the combined cost of accreditation, training, ongoing professional development and the additional time required along with the need to prepare formal inspection reports are likely to exceed the cost of outsourcing the annual asbestos re-inspection. Furthermore, a staff member who conducts only one inspection per year may not achieve or maintain the level of expertise and professional judgment exercised by accredited inspectors who carry out such works regularly. This would result in an increased level of risk to the council. Therefore, it is recommended that the annual asbestos inspection continues to be outsourced to a suitably qualified UKAS accredited professional. So that's the first recommendation. So
I second the proposal.
it was that proposal that you made?
Yes,
Yeah, and that was the seconder from Councillor Fisher. Anybody, any questions, queries or alternative views to vote? No, all in favour, Fisher. Lovely, thank you. Right, so item 10, members' reports and requests for agenda items. So to receive reports from members attending other organisations on behalf of the council. 10.1 is DALC, the larger council subcommittee, which is myself and the clerk, and there hasn't been a meeting since
For a while, I haven't.
Octoberish, I think. I don't think it's been the AGM, so no, we haven't had anything. 10.2, fair trade, Councillor Fisher.
Yes, I've been to my first meeting, thoroughly enjoyed it. They do it at the Terry Bennett Centre, and there's about 5 of us. And actually I'm running a table on the 25th when it's in a wheel coffee morning, just give a plug for that. And then we're going up on the 16th of May for a presentation on coffee in Exeter, and the fortnight is on the fortnight 21st of September is Fair Trade Fortnight, where we'll be doing something around town. So yeah, they're active.
Thank you. 10.3 is the Police Council Advocate Scheme, that's you again.
Yeah, I'm in contact with them and I'm getting my emails, as you very well know that you get on a regular basis, and I'm going to Saltash in July for the next seminar, which is, so I'm pleased about that. But of course that will finish in May 2028.
Okay, thank you. Look forward to hearing a report from that one then, so always very interesting. 10.4 West Devon matters. There hasn't been a meeting since the last report. I think the next one's in May sometime, but I just can't quite remember the date. 20th of May, something like that. Councillor Leach.
Yes, about that. But we do have monthly meetings with the inspector. It's a bit like the old accounting matters, so it's very specific to our area, instead of what this other group has become. It's much wider reaching. And last month, I thought just saying that two of the most important things they've been working on late was one, not only speed, because they've had their speed guns working, which is hopefully good for the town, was one of the things was trying to moderate Facebook, and especially when it came to hate issues. But I understand that nationally, some of the things that they probably would have been looking at aren't now, it's all been taken off the list. But they did have a very important case which involved dangerous weapons being on sale here in Oaklands, and it became a national issue, and somebody is on remand for it. So it's always going on, which often don't get discussed when it comes to the West Devon matters.
Yeah, I don't actually receive any invitations to those meetings.
I was just going to ask that, because
Yeah.
I think you should be.
Yeah, no, I
I
don't
will
receive.
chase that up for
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Okie dokie, right, so, we are now moving into.
You can stay. You can stay if you want to.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you
yeah,
can,
because I was
because
saying
you're
just a moment, okay, if I can just, you can hang on for a minute, I'll explain.
Can I
in a
say?
minute. Yes, for now, yeah. So, the committee is recommended to pass the following resolution, resolved under section 1(2) of the public bodies, which is the Meetings Act 1960, that the public press be excluded from the meeting for the following items, which are confidential by virtue of relating to legal and or commercial matters, staffing and or the financial or business affairs of a person or persons other than the council. Could I have a proposer, please? Councillor Coleman, seconder, Councillor Fisher, all in favour? Thank you. It's the live stream.
It's now.
It's now